Welcome to Smart Dollar Mindset, the channel dedicated to helping you achieve financial freedom with smart money habits and investing. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most powerful financial movements of our time, the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. For many, the dream of retiring in their 40s, 30s, or even earlier feels like a fantasy. But the FIRE movement shows us it's not only possible, but achievable with the right combination of discipline, strategy, and mindset. The FIRE movement isn't about winning the lottery or inheriting wealth. It's about taking control of your finances, building a life that prioritizes freedom over consumerism, and understanding that money is a tool to design your best life, not just survive it. In this video, we'll break down the principles of the FIRE movement, the step-by-step strategies people use to get there, the sacrifices and trade-offs, and most importantly, whether it's realistic for you. We'll also explore inspiring real-life examples of people who've achieved it, as well as the psychological and lifestyle shifts that come with pursuing FIRE. By the end, you'll have a clear roadmap of what FIRE really is, how it works, and whether it's right for you. The FIRE movement begins with a simple idea: financial independence comes when your investments generate enough income to cover your living expenses. At that point, you no longer need to work for money, you can retire, or more accurately, choose how you spend your time. Retirement in this sense doesn't mean sitting on the couch all day, it means the freedom to design your life without being tied to a paycheck. For decades, people assumed retirement happened at 65 or later. But FIRE challenges that assumption. What if you could save and invest aggressively enough to retire at 45, 40, or even 35? That's the promise, and the challenge, of FIRE. The foundation is math. If you can live on less and save more, you reduce the time it takes to build enough wealth to cover your needs. A person who saves 10% of their income may take 40 years to retire. A person who saves 50% might do it in 15 years or less. The higher your savings rate, the faster you reach independence. One of the most powerful formulas behind FIRE is the 4% rule, which comes from the Trinity study. It suggests that if you can accumulate enough money to cover 25 times your annual expenses, you can safely withdraw 4% each year to cover your costs, with your portfolio lasting decades or even indefinitely. So, if your expenses are $40,000 a year, you need roughly $1 million invested to reach financial independence. But FIRE is more than just numbers. It's a philosophy. It's a rejection of the consumer culture that pushes us to spend every dollar we earn. It's a movement that says, what if you didn't need to wait until you're 65 to start living life on your terms? Let's walk through the steps. The first step toward FIRE is understanding your expenses. You need to know exactly how much money you need to live comfortably. Not in theory, not guessing, but with real numbers. This requires tracking your spending. Many people are shocked when they realize how much of their income disappears into subscriptions, impulse purchases, and lifestyle creep. The second step is cutting unnecessary expenses. This doesn't mean living miserably, but it does mean aligning your spending with your values. Do you care about eating out 5 times a week, or would you rather cook at home and use the extra savings to buy freedom years earlier? Do you need the latest car on lease, or will a reliable used car get you where you need to go while helping you retire a decade sooner? Every dollar you don't spend is a dollar that can work for you. The third step is maximizing your income. While cutting expenses is important, increasing your income is equally powerful. Many people pursuing FIRE look for ways to accelerate their savings by advancing their careers, starting side hustles, freelancing, or building businesses. The more you can earn and save, the faster the compounding works in your favor. The fourth step is investing aggressively. Saving money in a bank account won't get you to FIRE. You need your money to grow. This usually means investing in low-cost index funds, ETFs, and retirement accounts. Some people in the FIRE movement also invest in real estate or build small businesses as cash-flowing assets. The key is letting compound interest work its magic over time. And finally, you need discipline and consistency. FIRE is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-smart plan. It requires years of consistent saving and investing, resisting lifestyle inflation, and focusing on the bigger picture. Now let's bring this to life with some real examples. Take Mr. Money Mustache, one of the most famous figures in the FIRE community. He and his wife retired in their early 30s by saving the majority of their income, living frugally, and investing in index funds. Today, they live comfortably, not extravagantly, and spend their time on projects they enjoy. Another example is a couple who shared their story online after retiring in their early 40s. They lived in a modest home, drove used cars, and prioritized experiences over things. By saving over 50% of their income for more than a decade, they built enough investments to cover their expenses for life. They don't consider themselves deprived. In fact, they say FIRE gave them more freedom to travel, spend time with family, and pursue passions they never had time for while working full-time. These examples highlight an important truth: FIRE isn't about being rich. It's about redefining wealth. Wealth is not about having the most toys, it's about having the most time. The FIRE movement comes in different flavors. There's lean FIRE, where people live on very modest expenses, often under $40,000 a year, to retire sooner. There's fat FIRE, where people aim for a more luxurious lifestyle in retirement, often requiring a higher portfolio value. And there's barista FIRE, where people achieve financial independence but choose to work part-time or in lower stress jobs to maintain some income and benefits. Each version has trade-offs, and your choice depends on your lifestyle and goals. Critics of FIRE argue that it requires extreme frugality, is unrealistic for families, or depends on market performance. And those are valid concerns. FIRE does require discipline, and it's not easy in high-cost areas. But the movement isn't about one-size-fits-all. It's about adapting the principles to your own life. Maybe you don't want to retire at 35, but what if you could retire at 50 instead of 65? Or what if you simply gained the freedom to take a year off, start a business, or work part-time without financial stress? That's still FIRE. Let's talk psychology, because FIRE isn't just about money, it's about mindset. Most people live paycheck to paycheck because they equate money with status. They buy expensive cars, homes, and gadgets not because they need them, but because they want to appear successful. FIRE flips this thinking. Instead of asking, "How much can I spend?" FIRE asks, "How much freedom can I buy?" This mindset shift is liberating. When you stop caring about impressing others and start caring about buying back your time, every financial decision becomes easier. You stop asking, "Can I afford this car?" and start asking, "Would I rather have this car, or retire 2 years earlier?" That's a powerful trade-off. The mechanics of FIRE rest heavily on compounding. Let's put this in perspective. If you invest $1,000 a month starting at 25 and earn a 7% average annual return, by 45 you'll have over $500,000. By 55, over $1 million. By 65, over $2 million. The earlier you start, the faster the compounding snowball grows. This is why FIRE advocates emphasize starting now, even with small amounts. Of course, not everyone has the same circumstances. Families with children, people in expensive cities, or those with lower incomes face unique challenges. But the principles still apply. Even if you can't save 50% of your income, saving 20% consistently can still put you far ahead of the average household. Now, let's address lifestyle design. Retiring early doesn't mean doing nothing. In fact, many people who reach FIRE continue working in some form, they just work on things they love. Some write books, teach, travel, volunteer, or start passion projects. FIRE is about creating the space to do what matters to you, without the constant pressure of needing a paycheck. Imagine waking up without an alarm clock, choosing projects because you want to, not because you have to, and spending more time with your loved ones. That's the vision of FIRE. Final thoughts: the FIRE movement is more than just a financial strategy, it's a philosophy of life. It challenges the traditional path of working 40 years only to enjoy freedom when you're too old to fully live it. It asks a simple but profound question: what if you could buy decades of your life back? The path isn't easy. It requires discipline, sacrifice, and going against the grain of consumer culture. It demands that you question every expense, every habit, and every assumption about what success looks like. But the reward is extraordinary: freedom. Freedom from financial stress, freedom from a job you hate, freedom to live life on your terms. You may not want or need to retire at 35. Maybe your goal is to retire at 50, or simply to have the option to work part-time while still feeling secure. That's the beauty of FIRE, it's flexible. It's not about deprivation. It's about choice. The key takeaway is this: every dollar you save and invest is a soldier working for your freedom. Every decision you make can either bring you closer to independence or keep you trapped in the cycle of work, spend, repeat. So ask yourself, do you want to keep waiting for retirement to happen decades from now, or do you want to start building freedom today? Thank you for watching Smart Dollar Mindset. If you found this video valuable, subscribe, hit the like button, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. This channel is here to help you build wealth, break free from financial stress, and achieve lasting financial freedom with smart money habits and investing. Stay tuned for more content that will transform the way you think about money and the life you can design with it.